What's the worst part of depression? Not knowing what you need. The inevitability of suicide. Planning around it in a vague, general way like some people plan for retirement. The feeling of never-ending sadness, frown. Being sad. The vicious cycle of not taking care of yourself, your surroundings, your relationships, and then feeling disgusting and awful because you're dirty in a messy room with no friends. You dig yourself deeper and deeper every day. Knowing you're disgusting for not showering/washing properly, and not being able to do anything about it. The fact that it can just creep up on you while you're not looking, and the next thing you know, you find yourself in that deep dark hole. And thinking it's your fault. And worse, not even recognizing it for what it is. And if you are there now, seek help. Professional help. Depression is an illness. It can be treated. Please, go. I have seen too many people suffer from this for too long, not even knowing they can be helped. To talk about it in earl. Knowing you need a shower, knowing that you need to use the restroom, knowing that you are hungry, knowing that your friends want to talk to you. Knowing that you should do better. But you just can't. Not being able to see the other side. I'm constantly drowning and sinking further and further, and I feel like it will be this way forever. Losing every interest you have. Your music collection doesn't make you feel anything. Playing games? Boring. Watching movies? You just skip forward or read the summary off of Wikipedia. Taking long walks? You don't do it because it leaves you with your thoughts. So, you just lay down to sleep or go around the internet to look at very random stuff to keep yourself from thinking too much. Depression makes you feel empty. The houseplants feel it, too, and the rest of your family. Being unable to separate it from your natural state of being and a disease. I've been depressed so long I don't know what it's like not to be. As a dude, I also don't feel like I can say anything about it and receive real help from friends or family. It makes me feel weak and embarrassed whenever I express these kind of issues. In addition, what most people have to say isn't helpful, so I withdraw. The majority of the reaction I get is essentially, "Wow, again? Sorry bro, figure it out." Getting real treatment isn't as easy as it should be. Because of the pandemic, I'm assuming most therapists in my area are booked out, and even if you find one, there's no guarantee they will fit. That I have to feel lucky about the situation that depresses me. The nothingness, compounded by the medication. You don't feel happiness or sadness, you just kinda exist in some weird construct. That's how it felt for me, at least. Everything just felt like a chore, whether it was something I liked or hated. Going to the gym, hanging with friends, watching a movie or favorite TV show. They were all just things that had to be done. That was it. I felt nothing while actually doing them. I usually ended up on my phone all the time, playing some random game. It would pass the time quicker so I could go to bed and sleep. End the day and get ready to start all over again the next. I genuinely felt like medication made everything feel worse. I would lose my focus and end up staring into space for fuck knows how long. My son would actively be talking to me and I was just on autopilot. Not a clue what he had actually said to me. It felt at times like I wasn't in control of the things I was doing. Made simple things like driving very fucking scary. It's a truly horrible feeling that I would only wish on my very worst enemies. The spiraling coping mechanisms that just make it worse and cause damage to your relationships and work life, which in turn causes you to go back to those coping mechanisms to maybe feel better, and so on and so forth. When you try to do something to help you crawl out of depression but you don't end up doing it cause you don't have the will or motivation to do it, so you just end up getting more depressed. How easy it is to slip back into it. The show Big Mouth illustrates this perfectly with the depression cat. It's a sneaky MF. Shitty friend reporting for duty. What's your emergency? Hating the medication you're on that makes things better. Logically, you know you're better on them. You know it's good for you. But your dark brain hates it. Not because of side effects, though that too, but because of the way your brain views it. Your brain doesn't agree that it's a medication to help your broken brain function properly. It's a happy pill. It's not making anything actually better, it's just making you forget/ignore how bad things really are. It will never make all the bad thoughts go away, it just turns down the volume. You can start to feel resentment against the pills, the doctors, the world. You take it to conform to a society you don't want to be a part of in the first place. And worst of all, if you stop taking it for any reason, I had surgery for example, restarting taking it is really fucking hard, because your brain confirms all those negative thoughts when it's free of the brainwashing pills, and you don't want to keep taking it. You look for excuses not to take it. If you're lucky, you have that one reason you take it anyway. Maybe it's the same reason you started taking it in the first place. A partner, a good friend, a good therapist, even just a job you have to keep for a roof over your head. But those thoughts are always there. You don't want to take it. You have to take it. I was suffering for over 2 years and barely took care of myself, especially my teeth. I'm now paying over £13,000 in treatment, but it's worth every penny. Also, the coming down from it part, like after a bad depressive episode when you remember how many responsibilities you've neglected or people you neglected/pushed away and you have to try your best to right those wrongs. Your judgment gets clouded and when you act on it/make impulsive decisions, things get super messy. Being too defeated to fix your life when you know how to but can't follow through. When you feel like you're finally over it and then you wake up the next day feeling twice as depressed. Killing your friendships. No matter how good things are going, how good of a day it was, or what positives you have in life, there is still something in your head saying it'd be better if I wasn't here anymore. For me, it's the guilt I feel. I have an amazing life, the best partner, beautiful kids, all the support in the world, so why can't I be happy? Fucking depression. Hopelessness, that is the one that will kill you. There's no reward in feeling normal. There's the crushing weight of not feeling anything for an extended period of time while having both an explanation and no explanation for why you feel this way. But when you crawl your way to what's considered normal, there's no confirmation, no acceptance, and if you don't have help, it's just an inevitability that you're gonna fall into it again. Feeling worthless and sad like if it's on autopilot. The idea that it exists. People own depression like they think they're Christians. It is an assumed state that is validated by a society which believes in an actual and, if well-adjusted, self-validated self. The stage where the void takes over. No emotion, no drive, no energy, nothing. You're living as a shell, completely hollow on the inside. Your brain turns itself off, and you have no fucking clue where the switch is. It took me brushing off getting expelled from school to push me to get help, or more my parents pushing me because again, no drive. For months, I was in such a bad place where I didn't get out of bed for days at a time outside food, water, and bathroom. My body was tied down by my brain, and I couldn't stop it. Meaninglessness. Nothing matters or makes you happy. And fighting every day to stay alive. That you can depressed and not realize it. It is an insidious thing that happens to our minds, bodies and relationships. People not understanding why you feel the way you feel. My dad didn't really believe that depression or mental illness existed in general. He didn't understand why I'd isolate myself or have crying spells every so often and would give advice such as, you need to choose to be happy, or well, back in my day. Which would just make things worse. If I'd be around him with a depressing behavior, then he'd chastise me until I just went back to my room. Not everyone handles situations the same way as others. Some bounce back right away and others take time. For me personally, I use music to help me get through hard times. But eventually it gets to a point where any and all music loses effect. That lasts for a long time, sometimes months. That's when I feel worst. This may sound dumb, but music would last even when my friends weren't there for me. So when I lost that, I lost everything. Luckily now I still have some good friends and made a lot of new ones. The lack of hope frown. Having to make up excuses for why you don't want to leave the house. And waking up in the morning for work. The recursive nature of it. The symptoms perpetuate many of the causes, which causes it to escalate quickly and easily and become exponentially harder to escape. People not understanding what depression is and what it can do to a person. The internal struggle is bad enough, but the lack of empathy and understanding from the outside just makes it hurt all the more and makes it incredibly isolating. When the people you love don't understand that you're not just in a bad mood. Buck up, look on the bright side, count your blessings, cheer up. Like, fuck you guys. I would if I could. There's no escape, it's something you just have to live through and let run its course. The fact you are often feel doing nothing and can't explain it to anyone. All of the missed opportunities because you can't find the energy to even get out of bed.